All right, so a quick spoiler warning. This is going to be a kind of review going over everything in Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, not story content. That will be a separate video. That's going to be theories and all this speculation and all this other type of stuff that we're going to be talking about. But this is just going to be talking about gameplay, what happens in the actual story itself. I'll leave out some more of the shocking stuff maybe until the end, but I will probably include my reaction. So just a quick spoiler warning. So hello there, everyone, YouTube, the world, how's it going? Today, I am excited. I don't know if you can actually see my face or if this is just going to be audio in the background while I'm showing you clips of what I was playing, but I'm going to be talking to you about Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Oh boy, we have a lot to talk about, even though it's not going to be probably a long video, just going over some of the stuff that was there, some of the details in the gameplay. I don't even know where to begin, but we're going to get started. So, this DLC is the question going into it is this $20 really worth the DLC? Now, if you compare, if you've never played or you've bought Final Fantasy VII Remake, if you're going to buy Final Fantasy VII Remake for say $60 brand new, you have a PS5, you're going to buy the PS4 disc, it's going to work with the free upgrade that it gets. And then you're also going to pay $20 for the Intergrade Yuffie DLC portion. Is this more story content, more worthwhile than just buying Final Fantasy VII Remake? No, there is more bang for your buck on Final Fantasy VII Remake than there is the Yuffie DLC Intergrade in just separate and just comparing them. The Yuffie DLC is about 6 to 8 hours depending on how long you go, and if you do Fort Condor, the minigame stuff that's there, or some of the other side quests. If you just do most of the story stuff, you just go on. It's not really a lot. It's just 2 chapters, so it's really like kind of closer to 4 to 6 hours. But there's a lot to experience there. There's a few mini games, some fetch quests and things of the like to do. But compare that to Final Fantasy VII Remake. I mean, I clocked in around, and I didn't go through a second playthrough. I clocked in around like 47 to 50 hours, somewhere around there. So comparing how much playtime you're getting, I mean, if this were your cost per frame talk, if you're talking about like graphics cards or anything, then no, it's not worthwhile as much to that for just that if you're just talking about how long the experience is. So the story stuff of the DLC. The DLC, there's not really too much before the ending cutscenes and stuff that is too much of like a big shocker. If you've seen the initial release of Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrades, the Yuffie DLC trailer, if you saw that, then you pretty much know what you're coming in for. Yuffie's coming in as a spy for Wutai to work with Avalanche to take down Shinra. You come down, you start with a solo adventure as Yuffie, you eventually meet up with one of your operatives from Wutai, Sonon, and the two of you adventure through 2 chapters basically together, more like 1.5, because the first half of the chapter 1 is kind of just you on your own, but about 2 chapters worth of you and Sonon going through, and it starts from around where because you actually see Barrett and Tifa coming back from the mission where they lost Cloud. I think it was like chapter 7 or 8, right before Cloud lands in the Sector 7 slums and crashes into the church. And the DLC starts about, I mean, timeline, it starts right actually there because the DLC starts the next day. You just start from Yuffie's perspective, and it goes all the way until the actual you see the actual plate falling from the perspective of Yuffie, who is at Shinra Tower. So you're seeing the above ground portion of it, the above the plate portion of it. And that's about how long you're actually going through. So there's not a huge timeline that's going through. It's going through a very specific part there. And then the ending cutscenes goes to where Yuffie eventually ends up after the DLC, and then it shows some other cutscenes of what's going to kind of lead into FF7 Remake Part 2. And that's really it. As far as story stuff goes, there are some spoilers I can go into. There's some other things. You'll probably be seeing some stuff from the gameplay that I'm going to be showing you and clipping here. But there isn't too much that is like eye-opening and just awe-shocking at that point. There's a few scenes, there's a one or two things with underground or deep ground. Uh, excuse me, I did not play Dirge of Cerberus. I've only seen pieces of it in Red Wiki. So um, the deep ground portions with Weiss and Nero, there's not much there. There's only a few cutscenes, and then of course, if you saw the trailer reveal, there's a few boss fights. One of which being, so hint hint, surprise, Nero. It's in there, and that's about where the story goes for the Intergrade portion, Yuffie's DLC. As far as graphics, load time, all that stuff, FF7 Remake already got the PS5 upgrade the same time that the Yuffie DLC came out. So I'm not going to comment on any of that, but I will say, as far as the look and aesthetic of the game, there were a few graphical issues, I would say, that I saw. Nothing that wouldn't be patchable. Yuffie's, spy costume, where she's got the Moogle hat and the little cloak before you see her in her, what everyone else more knows of seeing her, like shinobi headband and her green top and the little shorts. The cape itself kind of flickers here and there. It has a little like graphical issues there. It's nothing game breaking. It's not even bad. If you're a real gamer, you really love to see some of the stuff that goes wrong too. To see the stuff that goes great is incredible, but to see the stuff that goes wrong is just as incredible, as long as it doesn't take away from the experience. And this didn't take away from the experience. This is just there. There was also in the sector, was it Sector 5? Slums, there was some pop-in that you could actually see. It was a large crowd. It was a little further down. It was not as much pop-in as the PS4 version, but there was actual pop-in there. So, and I'll show it. Hopefully, I can show it right around now. I will try to clip that scene where you can see it. I don't think I have any audio from myself, just audio of the actual gameplay, but it is there. It's nothing, like it's nothing that if that takes away from your entire experience of the rest of the polish of the game, then I guess sorry, and try to enjoy it as much as you can. But it didn't take away any experience of it. It was just, you just saw pop-in farther away when you were, and it was significantly farther than what was in the PS4 version. Other than that, there's an NPC who got stuck in a chair or stuck in a table. Can't remember exactly what they were stuck in, but they were, looked like they were trying to walk towards Jesse. And I was making some comments about how that dude's just on a mission and ask her out, and best of luck to him. But it was pretty funny. He was just walking through it. That was it. You leave and you come back doing anything, another Fort Condor mission or fast travel, and he's gone. It just was there once. So there was very few things that were, I would even say, could even be classified as bugs or glitches. Other than those bugs and glitches, this game has some polish. This game looks and runs incredibly. And I haven't played the 7 Remake at performance mode to double check, but go check out Digital Foundry. They are much better at doing that kind of stuff than I am, and they showed absolutely no dips in any of the major places, and any of the places where the volumetric fog was added. Some of the boss battles were some pretty big animations, and the cutscenes kind of happen here and there. The game has an extreme amount of polish. I can't go on and on. I could go on and on just talking about it, but it looks incredible. The voice acting on everyone and everything. As far as the voice actors for the DLC specific people, because there are characters that come back. There you see a bit of the typical Avalanche crew that the ones that are called I forget their names. They're the like heretics. I know they're the outcasts of Avalanche, really. And you meet more of the real Avalanche. Avalanche, that's not what we know, but the main core, that one that is working with Wutai. And there is not a weak link amongst any of the people who are voice acting for any of these. There's not a character model or anything that wasn't over. There wasn't a character that was overused. I think there might have been characters that are underutilized. I would have, of course, would have rathered a 16 to 20 hour DLC package. But that's just because I loved everything that I was playing so far. So that just shows a good thing on the DLC. It has an incredible amount of polish, very well done. Same thing for the sound and everything. There's a nice little couple of tunes that are just fantastic. Um, there's some mini games like going on more on the polish. There's some mini games that are better than the mini games that Cloud gets at that certain point. Her stuff is really good. I didn't. There was just a specific piece with the dog that I didn't get at first, and then once I knew what I was looking for, I went, "Oh, okay. I was trying to do something stupid. I was being an idiot, so I was bitching, going like, this doesn't make any sense. This part sucks. What's the point of this dog? What am I supposed to be looking for?" And then I just figured out what I was looking for, and I went, "Oh, okay. Now I got it. That's not. Oh, this is a little mini game. But they're all good. The other little mini game there's some box mini games where you're like using Yuffie's shuriken to attack boxes. There's a mini game where you're collecting some posters around the slums, and there's another similar type of box mini game, kind of like what Cloud does to get the hard bat, or not the hard bat, the nail bat. And there are those type of mini games, and then there's also Fort Condor, which I did not think I would really be enjoying Fort Condor really much, but I gotta say, I I turned on the game to stream for like an hour ish, and I was gonna go through some of the story stuff and blah blah. I think I was playing Fort Condor for like 40 minutes or 30 minutes after that, and I had already played most of the first stream that I had that I was playing of it. It's really fun. It has a huge difficulty curve once you get to like rank 3, just because of what you're kind of limited to use and what boards you have. You got to collect more, but it's really fun the way that they utilize it. You know, a bunch of characters that are side characters in a vanilla Final Fantasy VII Remake are the characters you play against. So there's a basic NPC from Avalanche who, or one of the Avalanche guys teaches you the tutorial. And there's another like basic NPC that you play as, and then a bunch of other people like uh, Jesse and Wedge and Kyrie and Roche. These are people that you play in Fort Condor. And I haven't gotten to the Game Master. I haven't 100% completed it. I've just beaten the actual DLC, so I can't comment fully on it. But Fort Condor was a surprise of how much fun I actually had with it. Will I be going back to the DLC to play more Fort Condor? Probably not once I beat the Game Master and kind of just get everything for unlocking and completionist sake. But I would probably still play here and there. If they actually put that inside of vanilla Final Fantasy VII Remake in addition to the PS5 upgrade, I would probably also play for Condor there. It's just a fun mini. It just shows that it just shows how much fun they were having with the game. And it really shows that the developers really made the game they really wanted to make. It has a lot of polish. Even for like a small little mini game, it looks great. It's fun. Uh, and yeah, I can't sing more of the praises. All the little mini game stuff. I know some things kind of dragged on in the original Final Fantasy VII Remake, but for DLC, every single one of those, they don't overstay their welcomes. They're there for you to come back to in any capacity you want. I would actually say I would have wanted one or two more just because they were so good. So yeah, I hope going forward that these are what the mini games are going to be more like. They were really fun. A lot better than catching cats was the one that was in the slums that was just kind of okay. All right, now. So let's now talk about the battle system, Yuffie, Sonon, the upgrades and everything that's there. First off, I did not think that we were going to get as many weapons as we got for each character. They each have 3 weapons that have 3 cores. I got nowhere near finishing any of them. I'm also not max level. I'm level like 36, 37. That's about the level you are if you don't constantly run back and forth defeating enemies. Especially on one long playthrough, that's about how leveled up you get. I think you start at level 20. And oh boy, so let's go here. The battle system. I know a lot of complaints from people was the aerial battle system, but for me, so here's the way I describe it. I don't think aerial combat was really the problem. I think the problem was that characters didn't have multiple options. So a more long-range character had types of aerial combat. So Barrett and Aerith have I are the party members you have that deal with aerial enemies. And Cloud and Tifa, when they're in the air, it's sluggish. They don't have much options. They're so much better for the ground. Their ground attacks, most of their attacks are essentially all of their natural abilities, besides the materia that you can equip to them, are all ground based. And Barret and Aerith can just hit the air enemies. But similarly, if enemies come close to Aerith or Barret when you're playing with them, you're pretty much fucked. That's where you need Cloud and Tifa. So there isn't much balance between aerial and long range and short range combat in there. For Yuffie, she is the perfect mix of both of those. I actually thought that when I was playing Yuffie, at a certain point, I just was convinced that she's pretty much broken compared to every other character. She has an ability that can transform her attacks into an elemental attack. So she has her shuriken. She uses it for close range. She can then use her special ability to throw the shuriken, and it kind of like circles the enemy, constantly hitting them. And at that point, she has long range ninjutsu, which are essentially just magic attacks that she can use. And if you finish a combo, it draws the shuriken in, and you basically find a perfect pattern of rinse, wash, repeat, going back and forth with those. The thing is her natural ninjutsu long range attack has no element whatsoever, affinity, but she has an ability that's 1 ATB bar that transforms it into fire, ice, lightning, or wind. And that's where I thought Yuffie was broken. There was not really much of a challenge besides the final boss, and I believe there was like a few enemies before you get Sonon. Without that, everyone else was pretty much a cakewalk. I basically beat Ramuh when he could one-shot me with his special ability. And once I got Sonon, so I had another person to actually give me healing items and deal some stagger, I was, and more specifically for Ramuh to target, so he wasn't constantly targeting me. Man, oh man, I mean, the rest of the game was a cakewalk compared to some of the other segments in Final Fantasy VII Original. I even joked on all the streams that I was playing that I'm gonna probably play the original Final Fantasy VII Remake and be really frustrated that they're just also weaker than Yuffie. Yuffie's just a really perfectly balanced character. The synergy stuff that she has with Sonon is incredible, absolutely incredible. You have items that help you and equipment that help you work around it, and it has pluses and minuses. It has all these things. It's a really, really, really cool way that I hoped that they would have done Red 13 if he wasn't going to be a playable character. But I don't have anything more to say with the combat. They understood everything that wasn't working for the combat there. The only thing I would say the game didn't really learn of is maybe some more linearity of the level, but it's a 2-chapter DLC that really you're not supposed to go far, and you're not really supposed to go many places. It also just reutilizes assets that are already there. So you're already in the slums, and then you're in Shinra building. You're just in a different section of Shinra building, which actually does feel a little different, but there's also not much going on there. So there's not really much open worldness to there too, and that's part of how the game was already designed. So I can't fault it for that. Just if that was a huge problem that you were hoping the DLC would fix, it doesn't really fix that, but it makes everything else so much more bearable that you don't care that it's linear. Everything looks incredible. The combat is just perfect. The mini games are all integrated in just a great way that's not in your face, not overly dragged on, and they all feel fun and fresh. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel playing Final Fantasy VII Remake after this, because of just how overpowered Yuffie was. Yuffie has, and also her abilities. She gets a wide range between her weapons. Of she gets essentially like a kind of like a teleport out of danger. She gets a super powerful charge attack called Banishment. Then she has her normal abilities and her limit break, which all are able to have synergy, depending on certain abilities and things you have with other weapons, can all have synergy and all have different animations and purpose with Sonon. So let's also talk about Sonon real quick. So Sonon is awesome. I'm not going to get into any spoilers of anything that's about Sonon later on and story wise or anything. As far as the combat goes, he is a great ally. He has some really useful abilities. They're all pretty close range, which are also nice because Yuffie's weakest point is when a character is really bum rushing her. But Sonon is a more physical character up front. The synergy stuff that he has with her is incredible. They are borderline broken. I was having trouble with the final boss, and I just went, okay, I'm going to go back to my original strategy when I first got Sonon, and I'm just going to try to use the one synergy attack that does a ton of damage because I just want to kill this guy. I got to get out of here. I had to leave for something. I didn't want to be there all goddamn day. And I didn't even use the one that I should have used for the stagger. I used the one for damage. And it was borderline broken once you understood. I was also playing on normal, wasn't playing on hard. But it was just breaking the boss because I was just focusing on I was just healing and using that ability, nothing else. He's awesome. The way he interacts with Yuffie, uh, I really hope that you'll also have that versatility you'll have with Sonon with other characters whom you can also use. So I'm hoping that you can, in FF7 Remake Part 2, say you have Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith on the same team. Hopefully, I mean, you will be able to control the different characters, but it'd be also nice to have those synergy options. It really adds a different level of depth to the combat, which is really nice and really fresh. And Sonon overall was great. His voice acting was great. His tone was great. His importance in the story, specifically to Yuffie and what's going on there, is great. His perspective, everything about him was really cool, and he was just a great ally. I was not upset that I couldn't play as Sonon because of how well he played with Yuffie. And honestly, the synergy stuff that you had with him really felt like I was playing Sonon as well. I just didn't need to actually take control of him, which was nice because then I can give my full attention to Yuffie where she's at on the battlefield, and it didn't make me feel as hectic and crazy as some of the fights would be in there. The other thing I guess I'll mention is the fight with Ramuh. Ramuh's awesome. He was great. He's pretty fucking easy because Yuffie's pretty overpowered. Just comparing it to first time you play Ifrit or first time you even play Fat Chocobo. I got my ass kicked by Fat Chocobo. Ramuh is really cool. It's the only summon you get there. So overall, I would definitely recommend Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. If you have not played Final Fantasy VII Remake at all, and you have a PS5, I would recommend this game over every other game. I really don't know many games that just hit on the musical notes, on the graphical notes, on the depth of the characters, on the fun exhilaration of the combat, on the world building of the entire game. I don't know of really many games that are hitting like that. It's an incredible game. The developers are really, really loving what they're doing. And as far as the story stuff, not tons of spoilers, but the very final cutscene you get. I'll put my reaction to it right here so you can just hear. It's going to be a little grainy because it's over my PlayStation headset, but so get ready to turn down the volume a little bit. But this is just my reaction to what was going on in the last scene.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, what the fuck? Whoa, whoa, what? Whoa, his voice acting got a lot better. Whoa, what the fuck? Whoa. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. When is this? When is this? Where is this? What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my. Oh my god. Uh, oh my god. What? Wait. Okay. Wait, but but when is that? But when is that? Oh my god.
So yeah, shit gets crazy. The game itself, a lot of the characters that people were very worried about being in the Intergrade DLC were not overused. They have a place to come back, maybe. There's also a secret boss that is unlocked by beating the DLC in the actual main game of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is very, very nice. And overall, I would recommend it. It's definitely worth the money. I don't know if you have to purchase original Final Fantasy VII Remake to actually get Intergrade, or if you can just buy Intergrade by itself. I really actually don't know, but I would recommend the DLC on its own. It's really incredibly fun. It has a ton of balance with what it gives you. It's got a great story. It's got incredible voice acting. It's got amazing characters. Everything about it is just phenomenal. I can't wait to go back and play the original Final Fantasy VII Remake now on PS5. And I would highly recommend the DLC if you have it. So, that being said, thanks for coming by. I would 100% say go get this. So, thanks for watching the video. If you liked what you saw in the video or in other videos out of the channel, feel free to leave a like or subscribe. Don't feel obligated, but feel free to leave them. They also likes help me know, and positive comments let me know kind of what you guys like and what I'm doing well out of the channel. And if you didn't like anything you see, make sure you leave it down in the comments below so I can also kind of know what's not really going well, so I can try to improve everything. Also like to let everyone know that we stream more on Twitch. Just kind of started, so I'm going to be streaming a lot more. Everything that's on there will eventually kind of be onto YouTube at some point into the shorter clips. But everything I'm going to be streaming is going to be, somewhere here, some little box so you can kind of see that's everything I'm going to be streaming right now, and I'll update it when I'm going to be streaming new stuff. But for now, this is if you're interested in seeing any of these games, that's what I'm going to be kind of playing for the potential future. They're kind of just chill night streams. So if you're interested in any of them, come on down. Feel free to leave suggestions and talking about the gameplay and hints and things. Unless I really ask to play something blind or something new. Also, if anything here catches your fancy, or if you have any other suggestions based off of stuff over here, please let me know so I can check them out. I'm always interested in hearing other opinions and finding out about new games. So I'll leave all the information for Twitch kind of down below. And that's it for now. So until next time, would you all have a good one and stay safe out there.